these women out here saying they want equal pay, equal rights, equal opportunities, and yet none of them are stepping up to commit 50% of the homicides. None of them are stepping up to commit 50% of the aggravated assaults. It's just me.
I love
Hello, good morning.
so many audio.
Is this music?
Hello? Is this music? The green one or the black one?
Hello, good morning, baby.
It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
I have so many pockets.
He's been smuggling granola bars.
I can carry so many things. You can fit so many granola bars in these babies. Not for trash. Not for trash.
For trash.
Not for trash.
For trash now.
Not for trash. How dare. Folks, this is real crinkly, and I'm going to get it out of the way of my mic.
Thank you.
Just a huge amount of news.
There is actually so much news today, and unfortunately, it lands on a day where we're going to have to cut the show a little bit short. I have to run off.
Into the distance.
Into the distance. So we are going to get right the fuck into the news today so that we can get through as much of it as possible. Anthony, should we
Saige.
start with a quick Nintendo recap?
Let's do a quick recap. It happened on Wednesday, but there was a lot of big stuff, so we do want to go through it a little bit.
Yeah.
We do want to go through it a little bit. First of all, they came out of the gate swinging with a fire emblem.
Yeah.
They started right off with a fire emblem. And that's the way you start.
Yeah, I think that was a great way to start.
Once you put a fire emblem in there,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's happy with whatever else you do.
Yeah.
I could have been happier because I'm not a huge Fire Emblem guy. But you know.
As I said, I
you
think
know.
it looked great.
It looks wonderful.
I think it looked lovely. One of the other things that people were very, very hype about from this was Switch Sports.
Wii Sports 2, and this time your Miis look like Facebook metaverse avatars.
Yeah, so that was the part that tripped me up the most, is that not looking like Mii's, because like even up to this point, even the little like characters that you build for your Switch don't look like this.
Mm-mm.
They look like Mii's still.
Yeah.
We've been using Mii's
I mean, look,
consistently through.
are Mii's a little low fidelity these days? Sure.
Yeah.
But I think there was a way to make, even if it looked a little more like Animal Crossing type of, it's just something we were used to for Nintendo stuff.
I
don't mind it.
I think I like it.
I don't mind it.
I had a good time, and I feel like us and the Mii's had a good run.
One of my favorite things about this announcement was when they showed the soccer,
Mhm.
and the soccer immediately made me think, oh, it's Rocket League with people. Now, there's a reason for this. I'm not just an idiot. It is a comically large soccer ball. It's like huge.
Yeah.
And you're kind of moving at it like it's Rocket League
I think
with
that
people.
looks very fun. See, and I see Lucio Ball.
It is Lucio Ball.
I see Lucio Ball.
I saw those.
personally.
Yeah, I saw those comments as well.
Yeah. Which I love. That's awesome. I don't play Blizzard games anymore, as neither should you. So, like, this is fantastic. I don't have to play the summer event. I don't have to play the anniversary event. I'm not going to anyways.
Hey, can we
really
tell you
like
something?
this.
Ain't nobody strapping that Wiimote or that Switch Joy-Con to their leg. We're past that now.
Yeah. We're
And I
not
have a
using
feeling-
safety straps.
We're playing that soccer with a pro controller.
Really?
I will use a motion controller for some of these other sports, but that soccer is like, listen, that's Rocket League with people.
Yeah, that's fair. This looks so fun, genuinely. I got so excited for this trailer, and like, if you had pitched me on, hey, how excited are you for Switch Sports as an equivalent of Wii Sports, I would be like, yeah, that sounds great. But like, for some reason watching it, I was like, fuck, that's awesome. And I think I was more excited about the idea of social interaction.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I just got really excited thinking about playing games with my friends. So I was all in. Of course, you've got your bowling, the absolute pillar of Wii Sports.
Yeah, there's a lot of the stuff is there from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. The sport that I'm the most excited for, though, and the only one that matters to me, is holy shit, Mario Strikers is back.
Yeah.
Mario Strikers is freaking back.
I've never played it.
Oh my God, it's so good. And this time they're wearing armor.
I loved the armor choice. I think these are fantastic.
This really harkens back not just to the original Mario Strikers, but feels very similar to Sega Soccer Slam. And even back in the day, like Mega Man Soccer, like all of these like weird over the top action soccer power up games. I love it.
I'm so into this. I loved everyone's armor. I love how it specifically suited them and looked kind of like the sporting outfits that we've seen from them. Mario has his visor and stuff.
They're keeping that 2000s era like extreme illustration vibe to it too.
And I don't have a complaint in the world.
No, I think that's great.
I'm very excited about that.
We of course got the triangle strategy, which we knew we were going to see. There's a new demo out right now. Which is great. You can play the first 3 chapters of the game. Congratulations to everybody who's interested in triangle strategy. Hey, congratulations to everybody who likes RPGs or tactical RPGs. This was a Nintendo Direct for you.
That's so true.
Because we also got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming in September.
Yeah.
Everybody's bringing their dinner theater accents. Everybody in Xenoblade Chronicles speaks the way a regional theater actor speaks when they're doing Shakespeare. It's not a real British accent. It's a Xenoblade accent.
See, it's what I do with Dungeons and Dragons characters, and I call it Space British.
It's Space British.
It's because to me, I'm referencing Leia coming in and out of a British accent, because that's what I do. Because either I can't keep one up or I'm just not willing to commit enough.
And then when you do, it's like
a little much.
You go like, but you're not really from there. You're like, that sounds like what you think British sounds like.
Only Kaylee Bray can convince me that her character is actually British. Every single time.
The triple threat. Kaylee Bray.
Everybody on the internet was talking about inhaling a car.
Kirby.
They say, you wouldn't download a car, would you?
Kirby
you wouldn't inhale a car, would you? And Kirby would.
Kirby would absolutely inhale a car.
First, he's going to inhale these very cute little fox creatures, which I found a little disturbing.
They call it like Mega Mouth mode, which it certainly is. I want to know, I'm not quite on how that works. I'm not clear.
Anthony,
because he's not inhaling it or integrating it. He's just he's a tarp.
Anthony, anytime I take a bite that's not teensy tiny, I'm going to call it Mega Mouth mode.
It's Mega Mouth mode.
If I eat a full Chicky Nug in one bite, that's Mega Mouth mode.
Kirby is here.
Everybody was talking about Kirby.
The other big car news was, of course, listen, this is functionally Mario Kart 9.
It really is. And honestly, I'm not mad at the fact that it's not a separate game.
So Mario Kart 8 is getting a bazillion new tracks.
They're doing something similar, I believe, to what they did with Mario Party, where Mario Party came out as kind of an empty game, and they were like, we're going to fill it in as we go. Mario Kart didn't have as much of an issue. It didn't come out as nearly as empty of a game, but they are bringing back and remastering a ton of old tracks and adding new ones.
Well, Mario Kart 8, when it came out on the Wii U, was very bare bones.
Yeah.
I remember going and playing it when it first came out on the Wii U at a buddy's place and being like, oh, this is it, huh?
Yeah.
This is the Mario Kart. But over the years, they've added so much. We've got 48 new tracks coming over a period of 2 years in waves of 8.
I think this is excellent.
I think that's huge. Now, they haven't said anything about like new tracks.
Yeah.
But we're getting, one of the things that I saw was Paris from Mario Kart Tour. And I was like, man, all I've ever wanted is for the Mario Kart Tour like courses to be in a real Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Because Mario Kart Tour on mobile is not actually Mario Kart.
Of course.
And when I saw Paris, I was like, maybe it's just the romantic in me, Saige, but when I saw Paris, I got really excited. Plus,
Mario Kart, it'll be our Paris.
Coconut Mall.
Yeah.
Maybe we could kiss in Coconut Mall. Maybe that will be our Paris.
I, in general, have up to this point been, and still am, I don't want to say it's stopping here, a big supporter of the expansion pass on Switch. There's been a lot of like shit talking the expansion pass, and I've been really into it. I've enjoyed everything they've released for it so far, but also I'm like, oh no.
You're just a Banjo-Kazooie simp.
I am a Banjo-Kazooie simp. I'm an overall Nintendo simp. Honestly, Nintendo says, give me more money, and I say, thank you, Daddy.
Thank you.
Of course. But I do think that, like, look at what this is doing. That's so fucking cool. I really felt like they were rolling out this expansion pack with a lot of things in mind. And it is. It's delivering for me.
They're taking a lot of, Nintendo isn't as connected as the other platforms. Yeah. They aren't as online, Nintendo is forwarding you a lot of memes to your inbox, but they're like chain letter memes. Like they're like quoted chain letter memes. Like that's what you're getting from Nintendo. You're getting a lot of Facebook messages from Nintendo. Right. But this is really wonderful because for $24.99 a year, if they release one thing a year that you're into, that's worth $24.99, and you get the other stuff, it's worth it. If you got Animal Crossing and then you got the bonus emulators, that's pretty cool. And now you're getting Mario Kart, that's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. And also, if you are on a Nintendo family plan, you buy it once and everyone on your family plan gets it. The expansion pass. I cannot recommend that enough. Get on a family plan with your friends.
Just, hey, everybody share every login to everything.
Yeah.
It's the only way we survive. It's good. People were a little disappointed, and I am into this Mario Kart.
I'm very into it. What else are we into, Anthony?
The good Squid Kids are back.
The good Squid Kids are back. We were so hoping that we would get a little bit of Splatoon, not only because we want to see Splatoon, but also what that means is it confirms that Splatoon comes in the first half of this year, because everything in this direct does. Well, it'll be on the later end.
They did announce one thing that came at like the end of the year, and I was like, hey, you broke your own rule. But all we got was summer 2022.
Which is better than we've had. We've just had 2022. And I feel like with a lot of those 2022 vague dates, they end up getting pushed.
But with summer, that means you're close enough to where you could say what it is. Because we're in the middle of February now. You know when the game is coming. Just tell us when the game is coming.
I agree. I would have loved a date.
Because if you
but
push
it doesn't concern me.
If you push now, you're going to be pushing out of summer.
Yeah.
You're going to be pushing to Q4.
Right.
And so, like, then your summer is a lie, too. So you might as well just tell us what you have planned. The fish stick. God, it's so good. People, I was watching this live, and in the YouTube chat, people were bagging on this music. And I'm going to say, if you don't understand the Shibuya K style, art rock, fucking good prog math music of Splatoon, maybe you don't deserve Splatoon.
Never read the live chat on any game announcement.
Never read the live chat on any, except for here.
Except for here. Our chat, very pleasant.
Very pleasant.
But Nintendo's directs, the state of plays, none of those. The chats are always extremely toxic. They don't matter. All that matters is you, BBs.
All that matters is you. We do know that we got some more of Advance Wars. We know Advance Wars 1 and 2 are coming.
Yeah.
Fully voice acted for the first time.
Right.
Hey, Nintendo. You're doing it.
They're doing it. They're doing a lot of extra voices and things. It's really cool.
I love that. We got some remasters and remakes.
Yeah.
Hey, Square? How fucking dare you? Can I just take a moment?
You may.
How fucking dare you?
Wrong computer.
How fucking dare you?
Chrono Cross.
So we got Chrono Cross.
The Radical Dreamers Edition.
Now, I'm very excited for this. I love Chrono Cross. But hey, are you just going to run the most basic upscaler on your shit?
Yeah, they are.
Are you going to...
Yeah, look at that water.
Okay, the FMVs, fine. But these backgrounds, look at how terrible that upscaling on that looks. That's woof. That's real woof.
Honestly, I thought it was so funny watching it. You know what this is to me? If this was a game that was released on itch.io and they did it on purpose, I would be simping for it so fucking hard because I genuinely love the way that it looks. Yeah. And I know that it is bad, but it is so visually appealing to me.
If this was like a fake retro game with fake upscaling, that would be one thing.
Oh my God, I would be in love with it. It makes my eyes happy.
It's a great aesthetic, but I have seen there are so many Chrono Trigger fan mods and fan projects that have, there are kids that are just buying credits on like a web-based version of Waifu 2X for their upscaling that are getting better results than Square, who have the original assets, and if they don't, they've got artists.
I will also say, for those watching, if you're estimating that off of the frame rate that you're seeing here, keep in mind we're running through an NDI source, so it's gonna drop a ton of frames. So the frame rate might also be bad on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, also keep in mind, they did not update the animation frames on that either. So the characters do not move any more smoothly than they did.
Incredible.
The one thing that it does come with, because it's the Radical Dreamers edition, there was on the Satellaview back in the day, the Satellaview, where every Saturday you put a Satellaview cartridge into your Super Famicom and it connected to satellite radio and downloaded a video game that you could only keep until next Saturday.
This is the first I've ever heard of this.
Oh, we've got to talk about the Satellaview. You'll lose your mind. But one of the games was Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers. And it's a prequel. It's a text adventure prequel to Chrono Cross with symphonic music, because all of the Satellaview games had symphonic music because they were connected to satellite radio.
Fascinating.
So nobody outside of Japan has ever been able to play Radical Dreamers.
Okay, that's great. That's very exciting.
So as long as this thing comes out, and it comes out on April 7th, if this thing comes out for $10 or lower, which it won't,
right,
it's totally worth it for me just to play Radical Dreamers.
You don't think they'll hit us with that $9.99? I'm going to guess 15.
I'm going to guess $20 to $27.99
really?
For Chrono Cross. This is Square. They will nickel and dime you.
That's true. Continuing with other things that are coming to the Switch, remastered, re-released, we got Portal 1 and 2. I'm very excited about that. Switch is the perfect platform, in my opinion, for Portal.
Oh, yeah.
I love to co-op a game. Co-oping on a Switch is just like the dream. It's the perfect thing for me, because it's the only console I plug into my television.
That's true. It looks wonderful. I'm very excited to have it. I own Portal 1 and 2 on everything.
Same.
How many platforms
They're
do I own
perfect
it
games,
for?
and I'll never complain about buying it
for
again.
like the PS3.
Yeah.
I'm
never going to complain about buying Portal again.
I'll have Portal.
Thank you.
Anyway, you give me Portal.
Portal
and
2
here's
is
the thing.
Greatest game ever made.
They'll definitely price that appropriately.
Yes, they will. They'll know that I just said I will pay whatever for Portal and I'll never complain about it.
No, but I genuinely mean I think they'll price it appropriately.
Oh, you think they'll price it fairly?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I also want to say, in terms of
it does go really cheap on Steam very often.
In terms of brand new ports to the Switch, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Yo, No Man's Sky on the Switch. That's something.
Yeah.
That's something. I love that.
Yeah. We got Star Wars Force Unleashed announced for Switch. Disney Speedstorm Racing.
We got Live Alive. Live Alive. I never thought I'd see Live Alive just officially localized for any platform in the West, and we've got it. We did not get Earthbound 3. They made me think they were going to do it, but it's okay, because Klonoa's back, baby.
Klonoa's here. I wasn't expecting a Klonoa, were you?
No one was expecting a Klonoa.
Never would have thought of a Klonoa.
I thought they forgot about my boy.
Oh, and look at that good boy.
I have been playing Klonoa 2 for the PS2 recently on the very good Android PS2 emulator that just released. And I was just thinking to myself, I can't believe we did Klonoa so dirty. I can't believe we did Klonoa so dirty, but we didn't. They're bringing them back. If everybody plays Klonoa, maybe if you buy Klonoa 1 and 2, they'll give us Klonoa 3. If you haven't played Klonoa, there are some amazing puzzle platforming games. They're unbelievable. Somebody in the live studio audience says he looks like a budget Sonic, and if I had the ability to ban you from everything, I would, because how dare you say that about my boy? Not my boy.
Not my boy.
Not today.
Not on this day.
Not on Klonoa
I think
day.
that's most of the things that mattered. There was so much in this direct. They really packed those 40 minutes.
Yeah, we got some Front Mission. The Front Mission 1 and 2 remakes are coming. We got some Metroid Dread DLC, which we sort of figured was coming. MLB The Show. You were waiting. You were waiting for the worst version of MLB The Show, weren't you?
Yeah, and that stands for
My little brony.
My little boy.
We got Disney Speedstorm Racing.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's a Disney Pixar racer. It's a racer. It's when Pixar makes a racing game.
Yeah.
It's a racer, and it's made by Gameloft. It's the Asphalt team at Gameloft making a Disney racer, clearly mobile first.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's very interesting. Disney loosening it up with their licenses a little bit.
They are. They said, put them in a car. I don't know.
Make them fight.
Put them in a car. Make them fight.
Let them fight each other. So,
What did you think of the Nintendo Direct? Was there anything that you were hoping for that you did not see? Were you waiting on Breath of the Wild 2 and then the show ended and you went,
I'm going to tell you this. The only time I am disappointed at a Xenoblades announcement is when it's in the slot I was expecting a Zelda announcement.
Yep, that's perfectly fair.
Here's my thing, Saige. If we don't see Breath of the Wild 2 before the end of this year, mark my words, it will be a launch title. It will be a simultaneous launch title for whatever the new hardware is.
Which sucks. Nintendogs, G-Rex, same. I'm always hoping for Nintendogs. The fact that they haven't given us Nintendogs on the Switch is honestly fucked.
We got Dread, but no 4, but we didn't expect any 4. But, there's a lot of, listen, Nintendo giveth and Nintendo taketh away.
And boy, do they taketh away.
But moving on from that Nintendo Direct news, there's a lot of other gaming news.
There's so much gaming news. Like, where do we even...
I'm going to start with this Ninja Turtles game.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about this Ninja Turtles game and have been for so long.
So this is the Ninja Turtles game that is being made, that's being released by .mu and is being made by Tribute Games. These are the people that have been making very good retro brawlers and bringing them out. Your River City Girls, your Streets of Rage 4s. This looks unbelievable. It's obviously drawing inspiration from the old arcade games, but it's got its own style. It's not trying to just remake them, upscale them. And they announced Splinter as a playable character. We already have April O'Neil.
Yeah.
We know that Casey Jones is coming.
Splinter.
And
I'm so fucking excited for this game.
Listen, the retro brawler is such a historically limited, like if you go back and you play an old one, they're historically a little limited and bad because they were made to be quarter munchers.
Yeah.
But teams like this one have really been invigorating this sort of genre.
River City Girls completely changed my opinion on these like brawler beat 'em ups.
River City Girls was so good.
It was the story in it. It has such a good story. It has such good humor.
And they've integrated more and more fighting game mechanics as more and more, like, we just have fighting game mechanics built into us now. We know that we can do special moves. We know that we can integrate them. Whereas back in the day, it was like, push the punch button as quickly as you can, and then you will win. They've added depth. They've added a bit of fairness. They've added, River City has always had this, but a lot of these games are now bringing in light RPG elements.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to see.
Gonna co-op this so hard.
Oh my god, we're gonna play the hell out of this.
Oh my god, we're gonna play it so much.
We're gonna play the hell out of this.
Every time they release a trailer, I really do just get more and more excited.
So this is TMNT Shredder's Revenge. They were breaking down how they made some of the animation and stuff, which I think is very cool. I just want to show this, where they start with the onion skin. Let me start over again here. I think it'll loop. Yeah. They start with the onion skin and like the ink lines, and then they just show how they build out a character. And
Thank you, PlayStation.
It does my heart so good to see hand animated stuff with like squash and stretch and like the good cartoon physics and exaggeration. It makes me happy that this is not a lost art form,
That's great.
It's great. We don't have a release.
Nope.
We know it's coming out for PS4, and of course that means it will be out for PS5. It'll be out for other platforms too.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Speaking of things we thought were lost.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2.
You found my keys. No, Dead Island 2.
Keys,
I haven't been able to find my keys in weeks.
Oh my God, how did you get here?
I've been sleeping in your recycling bin.
Fuck, I thought I heard something. I assumed it was a raccoon.
By the
The
way,
amount of times I've confused you for a raccoon, Anthony.
you're not separating your recycling properly.
Is anyone? It's so complicated. And what do they even? Okay, Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 was announced 8 years ago.
Dead Island 2 had a trailer in 2014. It was the trailer with the guy who was jogging.
Yup. Back when people were playing Dead Island. Even well after it. I played Dead Island, and I don't play a ton of zombie games, but like Dead Island fucking slaps. Dead Island was a good game.
Dead Island was a good and broken game.
Yes.
And we thought another good and broken game was coming. It's apparently coming.
It is coming. It is an expected release date somewhere in Q4 2022. Now, we know better than to get our hopes up for a Dead Island. We've heard this before. They say we're making a game. 8 years later, no game. But
look, this game, number one, cannot possibly keep up with what's out right now because it's 8 years old. It's been in development for 8 years.
do you think it's the same game?
Even if it's not the same game, some of the bones of that game, you want to talk zombies? This game is a zombie.
Yeah.
This game is a Frankenstein's monster of a game. Even you remember when Gearbox released Duke Nukem Forever and they were like, we did a lot of work on this.
Yeah.
And you played it and you were like, feels like 2004.
Right, I bet you did.
And it doesn't.
Still, that's tough.
Because there's too much scaffolding.
Right.
Nobody ever wants to start over from the beginning. And that's the other thing is like not the Lysander and the live studio audience is saying play Dying Light 2.
There's a lot of that in the chat of people being like, Dying Light is kind of it.
Dying Light is Dead Island now.
Mm-hmm.
It's parkour Dead Island.
Something interesting I want to point out from the live studio audience is Lanky Dragoon said it had Aaron Paul and Jack Black attached in 2014, which I doubt that is the case anymore. Was followed by
if they managed to record that stuff before they went broke, then they have it.
And maybe they use it.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons they're trying to salvage it.
We'll get to hear 2014 Aaron Paul. Let's go. I'm so into it. Go. I'm just surprised they're doing it because there isn't a ton of demand for it. I think the demand has passed. And again, with things like Dying Light 2, who's it for?
Absolutely no demand for it. On the flip side, something that there's tons of demand for. Baby, you want to talk about Horizon Forbidden West?
Of course we want to talk about Horizon Forbidden West. We love to talk about Horizon Forbidden West.
Now, Horizon Forbidden West, on the PlayStation blog, Brian Roberts, who's one of the principal designers of Guerrilla Games, wrote a very lengthy blog about accessibility features. And you may say to yourself, well, that's good. I'm glad they're paying attention to that. That's exciting. Maybe it's not for me. Like maybe I don't need the accessibility features that some other people do. The things that they're putting under the umbrella of accessibility are incredible. Now, it's all the stuff that you would imagine. They have the general accessibility settings where subtitle size and layout for visibility. You set your preferred language. You can set your anything for text, anything for controls that you need for accessibility are there. But literally, you can remap everything. Not only can you remap all of the controls, you can change how long Aloy's focus lasts. When you pull back your bow and the world slows down, how long does that last? How much does it slow down the world? How much color leaves the world when that happens? What do you need for visibility and comfortability? And that all links into so much more that they're doing.
Right.
Holistically.
They have extremely customizable difficulty settings. It's not just, do you want to play on hard mode or story mode? Really, really in-depth difficulty settings, a ton of various controller settings.
The custom difficulty allows you to adjust things like how much damage Aloy does and how much damage Aloy receives, if you want to like tweak that. It's wild.
This one I found really interesting was Copilot. This feature requires a second controller with mirrored controls and requires a second user profile. So you can co-pilot somebody together.
Oh, if a part, like, yeah, if somebody can't get past a part for whatever reason, or a part is too difficult, somebody can jump in on the second controller.
Mhm.
Now, I know there are a lot of people that I know with little kids,
Mhm.
little babies,
Yeah.
little babies, and they can just mirror play with their little babies now.
Look at that. They'll play with their little babies.
The PS5 version makes use of the adapted triggers and vibrations, of course. And there are settings for people who find these options challenging.
Mhm.
So you can turn down vibration intensity, so don't make your hands itchy.
Is it for me?
Controller vibration makes her hands a little itchy.
I'm allergic to vibrations. I'm allergic to exercise.
And it also, if you don't like the resistive feedback on the triggers,
Mhm.
if you don't want that feeling of resistance, or or it makes it hard for you, you can turn that off.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If you don't find the resistive triggers to be huge additions to your experience, you might want to turn it off anyway, because as we saw from that controller teardown from iFixit, that's going to be the first thing to go on your controller.
In here, we've got customization for motion blur, camera shake, underwater camera shake, camera positioning, climbing annotations. Like, it is in depth.
The climbing annotations are wonderful. They add these like Uncharted style. You remember when you were climbing in Uncharted in the original ones and everything was like yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I can climb to that because it's yellow.
Yeah.
It kind of adds that. I love this.
Yeah, these, I believe, are the climbing annotations.
Yeah. That's phenomenal.
Showing you where you can go from it.
And they work it into the into Aloy's like visor thing.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
We've talked so many times about difficulty settings in games, and a lot of the time by a larger gaming community that isn't really thinking it through, it's met with resistance, where it's like, well, if you know, like if you aren't good enough at the game is not for you. That's completely ignoring just the various needs of players.
Yeah.
There are, various needs of it. It also, you shouldn't have to be good at a game to enjoy a game.
Yeah.
Like, you should just be able to play a game and enjoy the game.
The thing that's wonderful is the companies that have these resources are using them now. You know what I mean? And they're using them for these accessibility. These are not every developer, unfortunately, can afford to create these options in every single game. But as companies institute these technologies, this is something that's going to spread throughout all other PlayStation games. Guerrilla has written the code in the subsystems now. Other developers will be able to make use of it. Microsoft is doing a lot right now. You know what I mean? Microsoft is episode 1 Palpatine right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the good senator who's looking out for everybody.
Sure.
We just got to watch for that turn.
Come here. Close your eye. Yeah, I questies.
Thank you.
Fix it. Schmutz.
That's so gross that you just did that, and I appreciate it. That's what best friends are for.
You're crusty.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, they're doing a lot of good outwardly, and I love that.
Yeah.
They are also slowly taking over the entire industry, which can't be good. But
Right. Monopoly isn't great, but
their accessibility their accessibility efforts have been amazing. And the things that they add are then going to be available to developers on Microsoft platforms. So it's wonderful, and we love seeing it.
we do love to see it.
Another thing that good guy Palpatine is doing right now,
Okay.
while we're talking about Microsoft, they said, we hear what you're talking about, and we want you to know we want to bring more Activision games to more platforms. We want to
that's not good guy things.
That's good guy.
Activision?
Well, here's the thing. We don't want Activision on anything.
No!
But we do like, if somebody is going to own all of the things, we do want them to say, hey, we're going to put all the things in all the places. We don't like that it's Activision, but we like this policy when Microsoft is buying companies that are multi-platform.
Sure, why are we
That's what I
testing
like.
it out on the abuse company?
Yeah, I mean, look.
I say that like there's only one, but like they're kind of the big one at the moment.
This is them trying to rehab Activision's image while they buy Activision. One of the things that they have to do, Microsoft is they have to internally fix Activision and externally convince us that they're fixing Activision in a lot of ways. This is the first olive branch to people who aren't so involved or tied up in what's going on right now.
Yeah.
This is for the general populace who's like, cool, Call of Duty everywhere. Let me tell you something. Call of Duty fans want Call of Duty everywhere.
It doesn't make any sense to me why you would play Call of Duty on Switch of all the consoles or of all of the platforms. I just think it does not belong on Switch. If it wasn't Activision, I would say I support you in whatever you want to play on whatever console.
If you're a bro dad or bro mom that plays Call of Duty and you got kids and you only get to have one platform, it's kind of nice to know.
It's specific, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's not so specific. That's a very Nintendo use case. Parents who buy one console for their, I've got money for one video game thing. And I wish it was the one that had the games that I want to play, but it's got Mario Kart. You know? That's a lie. Everybody wants to play Mario Kart.
Yeah. I know Call of Duty was, of course, on Wii, and it did not do well, but it was very funny.
It was very fun. Listen,
it was a funny thing that happened.
They made their attempt at the motion control, and I remember it being like, you're doing something. You're trying.
They're trying things. Speaking of funny things, we really got to keep moving through today's show, so I am going to, let's talk about Teefs.
Super Mario Broth, if you don't follow, you should be following. This is a deep dive Nintendo, or specifically Mario Brothers history ephemera Twitter account. And they let us know that Daisy do be the only lady in the Mario series with teeth.
What's that about?
The other women simply have no teeth modeled. They simply have no teeth.
And in Daisy's models, the teeth can be seen inside the mouth when viewed in wireframe.
Can you see it alongside her third eye, her weird third eye on the back of her head? Do you remember that?
No.
Daisy's model has a weird third eye on the back of her head under her hair.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Daisy's the best princess.
Wow. I'm a Rosalina gal myself.
Rosalina is too cold and unapproachable.
Rosalina is tall.
I mean, she's tall and she's beautiful.
Tall.
Listen,
and does magic. And that's just it for me.
Look
at these lips. No teeths.
I love a tall, pale space princess for sure.
Same.
But let me tell you something. I could hang with Daisy for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Daisy's a badass bitch.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And the only one with teeth. So, you can see on the character models, they didn't put teeth inside either. They don't have teeth. They don't just not have teeth that are showing. It's not just their lips blocking teeth. They don't have teeth. But for some reason, Daisy does. Oh, yeah. Show me that weird spooky eye. Oh, my God.
This is
Daisy's... it's perfectly blocked.
Yeah, this is Daisy's third eye. It's inside her Smash model. Hello.
I feel fantastic about that. Thank you. What a gift today.
A third eye and teeth. Daisy was the twin that supposedly didn't survive. Confirmed. Daisy lives under the stairs.
Y'all, moving on to a little bit of business news.
We are a bit of a business show.
We're out of games. Let's get into the business because we've got a couple of very big business pieces. One of them was trending all day yesterday on Twitter, and I saw a lot of fantastic takes on it, and it was MoviePass relaunching. Now, if you were a part of the MoviePass era of just pop culture, MoviePass was a service you could pay, I believe it was $10 a month originally.
It was $9.99.
It was $9.99, and originally you could see as many movies as you wanted. You just couldn't buy the tickets in advance. You would have to buy the tickets when you got there, and if there was anything left, you just got to go in and see the movie.
It was a single movie a day.
Mm-hmm.
You can go see anything. As long as it wasn't 3D or IMAX, you can go see anything.
Yep.
Except, now, when I signed up for MoviePass, I was like, yeah, I'll ride this train for as long as it lasts.
Same. And I did. And I rode it for a good while. I saw a lot of movies.
I rode it for a very good while. And then there was that one day,
mm-hmm.
I remember showing up to the theater one day, and I was like, whenever this day happens, I will be ready for it, and I will not be angry.
Yep.
I showed up, and my MoviePass, I just couldn't log in.
Interesting.
And it wouldn't, and then they changed my password on me. And I was like, oh, I must need to update my password. So I did. And then when I logged in, it wasn't showing me any movies.
Wow. Yeah, I remember it like limiting. They kept scaling back the movies that were available. It was like you can just see some of the movies that are out. If they allow it, they're scaling back how many you can see per month. And then MoviePass was just gone because they were just bleeding money.
They were doing some shady stuff. It turns out they were doing that password change stuff to people all the time. If you went and saw movies a lot, they would just randomly tell you your password needed to be updated so you couldn't log in. Hopefully you'd miss a movie. And then they just started hiding popular movies.
Yeah.
They just started hiding them. And then one day, MoviePass was gone.
Yeah. I will say AMC, huge corporation, big, but AMC does have something that replaced the MoviePass, which is good.
Dude, the A-list, that's the one thing that came out of MoviePass, that Stubbs A-list thing.
It's only for AMC theaters, and like we're in Los Angeles, so AMC theaters are like the theater here. Where like, in one city there will be 4 AMC theaters.
Oh yeah, one of the big ones is like right nearby. And I'll tell you what, the pressure that MoviePass put on everybody, the fact that AMC took a look at it and was like, could we make money off of this? And
they are, because I pay for MoviePass every month and don't always see a movie. But MoviePass, after all of that, is intending to relaunch.
Dude,
okay.
There are some key statements in this that really let me know they got nothing.
So Stacy Spikes, the founder of MoviePass, announced yesterday that they are going to be relaunching this summer. We do not have a price. They just say this summer. They said, we want to rebuild MoviePass as a company that is built by its fan base.
I don't like that. That doesn't mean anything.
What's a MoviePass fan? What are you a fan of? You're a fan of movies, not the MoviePass.
Look, they're talking about social and community a lot in this kind of like attempted relaunch. There's no need for it.
Continued by saying, a lot of people lost money. A lot of people lost trust. There were a lot of people who were hurt and disappointed. And I was one of the people who was hurt and disappointed. You were the creator.
Well, it's important to note that Stacy Spikes was actually pushed out of MoviePass in 2018. So the company was taken over by a couple of equity firms. And,
right.
And 2018 was kind of when MoviePass was humming along. That was that rebirth of MoviePass.
I think that was after when MoviePass was happening, and then when they tried again in 2018, I do believe. They essentially rolled out for like a higher price point and had all the limitations on it at that point.
Yeah, the $14.95.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when it was actually working for a little while. And that was when I used it the most, I want to say. So he wasn't around for that. He was asked to leave. I think it's weird. That in itself is a red flag to me when the original founder comes back and has bought back the IP or whatever,
yeah,
or has been brought back into the fold. It means he either really believes in it and is very good and is going to try to do everything to make this work, or it means he should not be involved.
And I'm going to go with option number 2, Anthony, because he explains that with the new version of MoviePass, you can watch ads to earn credits that go towards free movies. Your phone camera will track your eyeballs to make sure you're actually watching. What it does is basically creates a transaction between you and the brand. That's supervillain shit.
That's horrible.
That is some supervillain shit.
Yeah.
He also said, I love product placement in movies. I'm the person that has a notepad and I'm writing down, is that Hugo Boss? I'm that guy.
It's important to note that Stacy Spikes started off as a movie marketing executive for studios. This is the guy who is literally making the ickiest things in movies happen.
This is so funny. This is
Jesse PB
so funny.
In the live studio audience making the reference to that patent for live advertising on the Xbox where you stand up and yell McDonald's. Do you remember that? Oh my God.
Or like in how Neopets actually patented what was it called? It was like integrated marketing in some capacity when they put a McDonald's into Neopets. They were the first people to be like, what if we advertised to children and didn't tell them it was an ad?
They were like Coca-Cola products and stuff.
Yeah, they patented advertising to children without their knowledge.
Love that. Love that.
This is so funny. The fact that they said it's going to track your eyeballs to make sure you're actually watching the ad is the most unhinged thing I think I have ever heard a man say, and that is saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. Quasi79 Foo says, I'm guessing is this the Emoji Movie guy? This is the guy who likes macking me? Yeah. Yeah.
This is so funny. No one wants anyone tracking their eyeballs. No one wants to go back to MoviePass. No one wants this. And the fact that...
I mean, I want to go back to MoviePass, but I want to go back to MoviePass the way they promised it, which can never happen.
I don't even think I want that anymore, honestly. I think I'm done. I think it's come to pass and that's okay. And after, saying that it's going to track your eyeballs so you can, see Hugo Boss correctly, he said, I want to make sure that my presence is saying to a little brown boy or a little black girl out there that you too can stand and fight for your dreams. Feels like a weird time to say that when you're talking about forced advertising tracking your eyeballs.
Fight for your dreams of being a brand ambassador. Fight for your dreams of doing the best you can for corporate America. You too can live your dream as long as your dream is making the capitalists more money. My guy.
Yikes. But hey, here's your reminder. It is Black History Month. We should have a command in chat on a timer that will pop up with resources where you can go and show your support. Black Lives Matter movement is still something you should be keeping your eye on. If you stopped paying attention last summer, you're doing it wrong. 2 summers ago? Oh my God.
And let me tell you something.
There it is. Link is right there in chat. Please check it out.
You're racist.
No, stop that.
You're racist if you don't join MoviePass.
It's not a funny joke. We'll
He's
move it on.
saying it, and it's weird.
But click that link in the chat. Do it, because that's actually a better way to go about this.
So, in other big, I guess, movie franchise news.
Okay.
Marketing news.
Okay.
We did get some Lord of the Rings Amazon series photos.
Yes, we did.
And let me tell you something. What flavor hot elf do you want? Because we got them.
All of them.
We got all the hot elves.
That's a trick question. Every single one. Yes. 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 Yes.
I like that this is just tree mushroom people and a guy telling them what to do.
Right, and then like an AD.
Like an AD saying, you better do what I say, tree mushroom people.
Yeah.
So these are good photos. We love these. They do have this sort of... Amazon hasn't quite figured out the post-production process to make their TV look a little more expensive. Do you know what I mean? They had the same thing with the Wheel of Time, where when the Wheel of Time video came out and we first saw footage of it, people were like, why does this look a little CW to me? There's something about the depth of field and the color correction and the sharpness. It doesn't quite look as expensive as they think it does. They're trying to figure it out. But there's something very, very important about the timing of this. There is a big trailer coming for the Super Bowl this weekend. And coincidentally, the Saul Zaentz Company, who has owned the media and marketing rights to the Lord of the Rings for the Tolkien estate for years, since his death, basically, coincidentally just announced, as Amazon is waiting for their Lord of the Rings show to make big money and be the biggest thing in the world for them, the Saul Zaentz Company said, hey, we're selling the rights to Lord of the Rings if anybody wants it. Whew! Only $2 billion. Only that's, hey, only half a Star Wars.
That's the thing is, I'm going to be honest, I actually think that's a little low. It's not the entirety. It is specifically the film and gaming rights. So whereas Lucasfilm was everything included, and it wasn't just Star Wars, it was indie and everything. But we also thought that Lucasfilm is a little low in comparison to a lot of the acquisitions we've seen.
That's not even, listen, $4 billion for Star Wars, that's not even, you get a free Howard the Duck with that.
Yeah.
You get a free Willow with that.
Yeah, a free Indiana Jones.
Never heard of them. So these are just the gaming and movie rights, but hey, this is the gaming, movie, TV, screen rights. What is Amazon afraid of the most right now?
Netflix buying it.
somebody buying those rights, a competitor
HBO
buying those rights out from under them, and they do 3 seasons of this series, and then they're told, it's time to renegotiate.
That's spicy. That's very spicy. If I was Amazon, I would be pretty upset with these people right now.
Well, Amazon is actually probably very happy because $2 billion does sound low to us.
So Amazon could just buy it.
That's pocket change.
The fact that Amazon hasn't already, the fact that it even went up publicly for sale and Amazon didn't just go, thank you.
It's going up publicly.
And then they just emptied out their pockets and they were like, sorry, that's 3, keep the change.
It's going up for sale publicly because the Saul Zaentz company knows it's going to end up with Amazon, wants it to end up with Amazon. It's easy. That's easy money.
Yeah.
But they want Amazon to pay a little bit more.
A little bidding war.
They want a little bidding war on it.
I get that.
If they can get just a little bit of a bidding war.
That makes sense.
Before they hand it over to the BZ.
Yeah.
On his yacht. He's got time on his hands right now. He has to disassemble that very famous Dutch bridge to get his big yacht out of Europe. He has to disassemble a national landmark right now so his boat can get through.
Awesome, so cool.
So he's available to take some Hobbit calls.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk in chat about, HBO. HBO.
God, if it ended up with HBO, can you imagine HBO Max making, number one, that would mean they wouldn't have to push Harry Potter so much.
Please.
And number 2, they know how to make a thing look good.
They do.
Fucking Euphoria looks like more of a fantasy show than the Lord of the Rings clips we've seen so far.
Okay, I think we only have time for one more thing.
Only one more thing?
Yeah, and we got to talk about Futurama.
We got to talk about
We have to talk about Futurama. If we can, we'll save some of these things for Monday, or maybe the Patreon clip, which we're going to have to film at some point. It's not today. Patreon clip's going to be a little late this week.
Patreon clip is going to be
Futurama was announced to being revived, and Futurama is one of my favorite shows of all time. So naturally, I immediately thought of the end of Futurama and wanted to cry again, like I always do.
Yeah.
You've broken my heart too many times, Futurama, and I'm ready to let you do it again.
I'm not going to say the episode by name.
Nope.
But I immediately think of that episode.
Same.
As we all do.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, Futurama, that's the thing. Santo Hartono is like, which end? Which is a valid question because they've done this before. But that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to come back and have a pretty high quality.
Absolutely. I don't think that Futurama has ever really strayed.
The TV movies and the sort of the revamps and the things that they've done have all been pretty high quality. Hulu is bringing it back, and their big announcement said, we're doing it. We're bringing it back. And some of the original cast is here.
So what's very, very interesting
what did you say?
Yeah.
We said that the original cast is here.
And almost all of the original cast is.
We got Billy West. We've got Katie Sagal.
Yeah.
We've got we don't have John DiMaggio. Phil Lamar is here.
Right.
Wait, who don't you have?
For those of you who might not know or weren't on Twitter yesterday, John DiMaggio plays Bender. Of course, that's like an extremely iconic and important character of this series, and you can attribute a lot of the success of Futurama to Bender and John DiMaggio. What is said so far is essentially that they went into negotiations. John DiMaggio did not like what they had to offer. So it did not work out, and now they are currently casting for a voice replacement.
Look, basically, the dude knows what he's worth. You're not just talking to the guy who is 1/3 of what makes this series good.
Yeah.
You're talking to Marcus Phoenix. You're talking to Jake the dog. You're talking to one of those penguins of Madagascar. I don't know which one. I don't have children. He's a big deal, and he's needed to make the show work. And they apparently tried lowballing him.
So here's what I see. I see this as a very public negotiation tactic. I think we end up getting John DiMaggio before this series comes to fruition. I think they end up meeting his rate, and this is something that either of them are doing to kind of play with it, and John DiMaggio is winning. BenderGate was trending on Twitter all day. He even used the hashtag himself and said, thanks for the concern and props. Everyone, I really appreciate it. Don't worry, I'll keep you posted. But until then, cheese it. Hashtag BenderGate.
Now, a lot of actors have come out and said that even though this might be a negotiation thing, Hulu is going for the jugular. I forget who said that they reached out. It was another big voice actor said, "Oh, they sent out casting.
Yes.
They were looking for a John DiMaggio sound-alike."
What I will say is a casting notice doesn't really mean anything and has been used as negotiation tactics before.
For sure. And everybody was like, yo, you can't do this.
Tara Strong was one of the big voice actors that spoke out and was just like, hey, this is somebody who made the show. You can't do this out without John DiMaggio. There's also a huge thing in like the VO performer industry where being a voice replacement for somebody who, kind of got screwed out of the role is like a career killer. So a lot of your voice actors that can do these voice matches will not do it.
Yeah. If you do a voice match for a character that the actor didn't leave of their own accord.
Right. And is alive.
If you do a voice match for that character, the community just basically sees you as a snake.
Yes.
And you kind of are. Now,
and that's tough because these voice actors are just trying to get work.
Well, and that's the thing.
Actors are forced to be too desperate. It's very unfortunate.
The crux of this is that voice actors are not treated with the same respect that on-camera actors are. And a lot of on-camera TV regulars are not treated the way you think they are. They really do believe that you can just replace the voice of a character.
Yeah.
And there are some times when you need to do that. Mickey Mouse is a 100-year-old character.
Mm-hmm.
You got to replace the voice of Mickey Mouse at
Absolutely.
some point.
There will be people who age out of characters because they were playing a child or something. We've lost performers. You've had, Uncle Iroh, for instance, that had to be replaced, and that was very difficult. But that actor passed away, and they did their best to do him justice.
It's pretty. The thing that kind of throws a wrench into this is that there was a favored nations agreement. Now, favored nations, if you don't know what that means that they go out to all the series regulars at once and offer them the same amount of money. It's used. It's mostly used by cast to say like, hey, I may be the voice of this show, but you don't respect this other actor as much, and I want you to know that I don't do this show unless they get paid the same amount of money as me.
Right.
Studios can do it as well, and it's sort of just like a show of goodwill, but it's also a show of like, this is the top we'll pay for anyone.
Yep.
It's kind of a power play. Now, unfortunately, what happened was this was a favored nations on the side of the studio.
Yep.
And so Billy West and Katie Siegel, who are, of course, Fry and Leela, they signed. And John DiMaggio said, this is too low. And because they hadn't all spoken beforehand, now John DiMaggio looks like the holdout. And maybe he is. Maybe he is asking for more than the studio can afford to pay.
Right. And I don't agree that John DiMaggio should get more than Fry or Leela.
No.
Those are all equal part characters to the success of this show. So here's the thing. If they're going to go back in and they're going to renegotiate with John DiMaggio, they're going to have to renegotiate with these other two actors.
It's funny. Billy West was asked a lot. They were like, why do you think John isn't signing? Why do you think? And he tweeted, I think he can't find his pen. Like, he doesn't want to get involved. He's just like, I think he's looking for his pen. I don't know. Like, fuck off.
I hope that all of the actors get paid fair. No. Move your laptop. Move it.
I just turned into Bender.
Also, make sure it's not dripping onto the PC.
No, just on the carpet. Just
on the carpet.
Just on the carpet.
You know what? That's probably a good place to end the show.
I was going to say, that's probably...
We gotta get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go through and I am going to thank all of the people who directly supported us during the show. If you want to continue doing so after the show, you can always check us out on Patreon. You can join the Discord. It's free, or you can just show up here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Thank you, Emily Green, for that $20 donation. Said Sugar Breakfast. We love you. Thank you, Emily. Yeah, do that. Jose with the 3-month Prime sub. Thank you for using that Prime sub, taking all the money out of the Beezy's pocket. Buck Nerd with the sub. Thank you for choosing to support the channel today, as well as HTT Paladin. Appreciate you so much. Darius Straff resubscribing for 8 months, and my goodness, 8 months as a pickle. Still fresh as ever, though. Never pickles. Ronan with the $50.01. We love you, Ronan. Thank you for being a fantastic human and mod and always supporting the show. You don't have to do that. It said quick sugar breakfast and fun with numbers. # never pickles, always pickles.
Whoa.
Whoa. I Want a Cookie resubscribed for 6 months. M. Jason O for 7 months. Nadia Bean for 12 months. Almost a Pixel Circus year. 1 month shy. Thank you for being here. Avi Martin for 3 months. The Breezer subscribing for the first time. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. As well as JDC5583 with the Prime sub. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for those bits just now. So appreciated. I don't think we thanked all of the bits peoples. I can't see all of those. Our activity feed is filtering wrong, but hey, if you did some bits, thank you for the bits. We're so glad that you're here. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for starting your morning off with us. Join the Discord. Let us know your thoughts on all of these things. Let us know your thoughts on Futurama, on the Nintendo Direct. You can find Anthony everywhere on the internet at @Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where he's at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, it's his. Give it back to him, you cowards. You can find me everywhere on the internet at @NotSage. I stream over on my channel Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And that is
big thing today. Twitch.tv/ChocoboleTV. Huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing Chocobole 7. It is a big weekend-long stream. We stream throughout the entire weekend. We're playing all of Final Fantasy X-2, top-tier Final Fantasy, one of my favorites. For charity, we're doing it for able gamers. Please go follow me on Twitter for more information about that if you don't already. Chocobole, baby. The plan is we play a square game all the way through. The final boss battle happens during the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Y'all, we'll be live at 7 p.m. Pacific tonight for Failed Save as well. Failed Save is our comedy D&D 5e show. We have the lovely guest Omar Najam, and it's going to be very, very fun. If you want to know where Anthony got his pocket shirt, you can tweet at him. Goodbye, everyone. We love you.
I got coffee.